To kickstart the Alpha Talks, we have a very inspiring lady, a former Miss India, a very celebrated actress, television, theatre, film, among many things. And a lot of us know this about her. But as they say, this is the veritable tip of the iceberg. She is far more and done many more things. She's a double doctorate and been in the field of education for over 20 years. If I go through her CV, we will end the show because it's so long and so many achievements. So I will now introduce to you our guest today, Dr. Swaroop Sampat Rawal. Welcome, Swaroop, and thank you for doing this for us.
Malini, anything for you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks for having me over.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And so shall we start?
Absolutely.
So you've been an educationist for over 2 decades. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is what got me started is like I wanted to change the way education is in India. And I wanted to do something for the children of my country. So that's what keeps me going, because you see, you've still not reached a stage where you say, okay, now I've done enough. There is still so much to be done. So much. Another thing is, I have this kind of way of looking at it as when I say, if it's not me, then who's going to do it? So, yeah. So these are the things which just keep me going. There's still a long journey ahead. And now with the NEP, that's the National Education Policy 2020 coming, a new journey has started. So still a long way ahead.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you've been such a well-loved face on film and television. Has this, helped you, or has been a deterrent in your work as an educationist?
That's such an interesting question, Malini. It helps and it is a deterrent. So with my students, it's a great help. Sometimes I work with the underprivileged and the marginalized girls of our country. So after I worked with them, they go back home and saying, "Par hamari teacher to Miss India hai." That type of a thing. The way it's helped is that, being a star, being Swaroop Sampat, I always get an entry into anybody's office. So, and then I go and talk about what I do. Workshops, for example. A lot of people want to come to my workshop just because I'm the star. Once they've come, then the agenda is mine, So that is great. The deterrent is there are still stereotypings happen. So how can a film star, how can such a popular film star, how can a Miss India be intelligent? So, with the people of my field, like the academic, it's always like, wait a minute, what does she know? And then when they realize that, I have a double doctorate or I've done so much work, then they go, Acha. And then, they kind of listen, but they still are a little, how can anybody be good looking and be intelligent?
My gosh, yes, it must be very hard. So now you've excelled in various assignments. You've worn so many hats in the academic world. So what would you say is your most satisfying experience?
That's very difficult. I cannot answer that at all. Like even a small workshop which I've done teaching on the streets of Matunga is very important for me. Like the KGBV girls that I've taught in Gujarat. So this very beautiful program which I'd done for the Gujarat state protection of the adolescent girl, where, we reached out to 65,000 adolescent girls in Gujarat. And they were the change makers, Then there was a very beautiful teacher training program which I did, was 2.5 lakh teacher training. So I can't decide which is the best, whether some of the research projects my new students are doing at Sardar Patel University. because I'm a teacher researcher too. It's very difficult to say no. It's practically, as you know, using the cliche thing, right eye or left eye. So, no, I can't decide. Like, I love teaching and I've taken a vow never to stop teaching. Then, I'm a researcher. I don't want to stop researching because, my researching helps my practice to become better. Then, working with the adolescent girls, with my postgraduate students, because, Malini, at every stage it's different. The beauty of working with pre-primary or primary is different, and working with postgraduate students is different. I thought, I just started teaching them since 4 years, in university. I never thought I'd enjoy it as much. But it's so great because, you're talking to young adults.
Absolutely.
And you can do a lot of things with them that are actually nation building,
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So taking off from that only, it's important to think that the teachers need to grow and evolve along with the changing face of the youth today.
absolutely. That's one thing you keep on needing to do all the time, because you know what, Malini, and all of y'all would be so surprised to know that even in the villages, things are changing so much. Like, you suddenly find village kids, like I'm working in one of the poorest villages in Gandhinagar, and the kids go, oh, I think we want, they tell their mom, we want to eat a pizza.
Wow.
Media is in everybody's house. So, things are changing very much. People are changing. Sometimes it's easier to explain things. Sometimes it's very difficult, like when it comes to really fighting for child rights and all, it becomes very, very difficult thanks to the, growing media and stuff like that. So it's everything. You got to keep on evolving because nothing is constant. And I remember once, we were talking about democracy, and I said democracy is a value I'm passionate about. And, my young students, my postgraduate students didn't understand the point of it. So I started a thing called Democracy Cafe.
Okay.
At Sardar Patel University. Now, the concept is, it was online because it was during the pandemic. On a given date, like say on Monday, all of them have to send in the questions they want to ask in a Democracy Cafe. Then I send the questions back and they have to choose 2. After the 2 which have got the highest votes are decided, we kind of decide a guest that will come and visit us. And then we have that guest who comes and speaks to my students for 20 minutes on that topic. And then my students and the guest and all of us talk about democracy, like you do in a coffee shop. It's a little like the Adda concept, but it's not a debate, it's a discussion. And maybe, I'm very happy if my students go back with more questions. That doesn't matter. But in the last years, we've discussed such incredible topics like one nation, one election, the role of media in democracy. Is democracy a colonial legacy? Or did it start even before the, colonization happened? So, my students always come out better known from that, like they go, wow, we never knew that. And once we had this very fantastic speaker called Ratan Shardaji, and he was so stunned at my students. And he went, I thought they'd be rude and, students and, how they are at that age, postgraduate age, And he says, but your students were so well behaved and they knew such a lot. So, you got to keep on and on. In fact, that's what makes it interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Amazing that, you need to engage with them and, so much investment into that. It makes a big, big difference.
Oh, yes.
Big difference. So, I know you're involved a lot with now framing the syllabi. So how holistic and relevant do you think the education system in India is today?
To be very frank, a bit messed up. There are good pockets and bad pockets and everything. But the ministry and the Prime Minister and the people who wrote the, and who drafted the NEP 2020, the National Education Policy, have a great vision. Right now, we are writing not the syllabi, but we are writing the position papers for the curriculum. And how the curriculum will be and how it will be taught. I think our country is going to get a world-class national curriculum, because I've interacted with the people that are on the the chair and the other people, and they're so intelligent, and you think, oh my God, I am so proud of my country because we have people like that who are real thinkers. And the other thing is that when you go back into the Indian knowledge system, etc., and you realize it's so great. Why was it discarded? Well, obviously it was discarded because of colonization. But I say that it's 75 years and we can't keep on crying about colonization. We are an independent nation and we need to throw all the baggages of colonization away. When there is so much our country actually has. So I think we're going to be going back to our roots and, becoming a stronger nation.
Wonderful. Gosh, I feel so proud to hear this about our country and proud of you. My gosh, amazing. So what is the secret of being Dr. Swaroop Sampat Rawal, the lady who has balanced her home, her profession, her craft, her education?
Oh God, there's no secret actually. I live in this very wonderful family with Paresh, for example, and he made life very simple. So when we got married and, he was really busy working and we would get invited to parties and stuff like that when we were young, he says, no, we're not going to parties. And I wanted to go to parties and I wanted to dress up. And he said, no, like Swaroop, I think it's much better not to go. I said, okay. So we stayed, and then, I had my little kids, so it was cool. Today I realized that was one of the best things we did because, we were there for our children and, being with them and being with the family, the strong bond. And I guess that's how you survive, like in tough times, except they want to eat always at home. So it's like, oh, no, you make it. Like you do, okay, pizzas, no, you make it. And I'm like, so I've decided never ever to make sushi because that's the one thing we just have to go out to eat because I don't know how to make it. Otherwise it's, no, you just make it. It's better, we'd sit at home and chill. So yeah, we're doing things like that. The other thing is I know a lot of people, but I have just a very few close friends.
Yeah.
And of course, work is my priority. So I work pro bono in education. I don't charge for it. And I think that's why it's much nicer, because then I can say it's not my work as in my profession, but it is my dharma. And I have to do this. So, yeah.
It's your passion, and you obviously enjoy it. I mean, with all that huge list of stuff that you've done, it's quite amazing. So, Swaroop, one more thing, because you've got this art and drama background, do you think that art and drama can contribute towards a more engaging experience in education?
Oh, yes, it can. In fact, I use drama to teach. So the title of my PhD is The Role of Drama in Enhancing Life Skills in Children with Learning Disabilities. So drama is, an experiential way of learning. That's one thing that's going to be coming into our new curriculum. Not only drama as experiential learning, but experiential learning. Because experiential learning is one of the best ways to learn. So, and experiential learning is not activity-based learning. So you do an activity, it's a different thing, but experiencing the whole process of whatever it is that you're talking of, and It could be role play, it could be actually doing something. It is some of the projects that you have to do, and you have to go through the whole methodology and everything. So drama works very well because it's fun. And that's another thing that's going to be coming into our new curriculum, is fun, learning for fun. And like if you go to the Indian knowledge system, it says that one of the most important things we were made for is for joy. And joy is what we should be experiencing in life. So that's what it is, the joy of learning. And that comes through, fun in learning. And when anybody, even the adult, when you learn in a way that you're having fun, everything just stays in your mind and you really learn well. So drama helps a lot. The only thing is that I've created a whole system of teaching, which is not really there in other drama methods. Is what they do is a role play. But you see, Malini, if you just go to a school or you go to some adult or anyone and say, okay, let's do a role play, they think it's about acting. But it's not about acting. It's about that experience of doing it. So they don't know what to do, So I have created this whole method which starts with just tableaus and statues, and 2 people in a statue, and then 4 people in a statue, then 3-4 statues telling a story, and leading into a proper role play where you actually assume the role of a person, and you're not it's not Swaroop acting as that person. You see, because we're not in experiential drama or drama in education, we're not creating actors. We're like, say, teaching history through drama. Correct. So it's not about making actors, Not that there is a problem with that, but this is not what it's about. Yeah.
This is separate. This is teaching, and then theatre is separate, which
that's
you
true. That's different too, like elocution and all that. That's there, and it's, I think, a very important element. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm using drama to teach history. I'm teaching drama to teach social science. I haven't done it, but in some places they've used drama to teach chemistry.
Really?
Oh yeah, It's a beautiful paper I've read about how this teacher taught the whole, formulas in chemistry.
Acting.
The H2O2, all the stuff together through a drama. The thing is, when you do it, you're physically doing it, so you remember it very well then.
Correct.
Then, it's not rote learning.
That's amazing. So where do you see yourself going forward? Any more movies coming up, or do you think now it is?
I wish. I love acting in films. But I have a new film company, which is called 72 Degrees East Production. And we just released our Gujarati film. It's a film called Dear Father, with Paresh in it. It was released in the theatres in Gujarat as soon as the lockdown pandemic kind of stopped, and now it's on OTT too, on Amazon. But my son has written the screenplay of the film.
Wow! So it's a whole family. Wow.
Yes. Amazing. So my elder son was working with Nasiruddin Shah, and now he is an actor. In fact, he was an assistant director in 3 films like Sultan, Tiger Zinda Hai, and Bharat. And now he's into acting. And my younger one has written screenplays and is an actor too.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Swaroop, thank you so much. There's just been so much to understand and learn from you, and just an amazing journey. Congratulations.
Thank you
proud.
very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.